Recently, I've shared how you can find content inspiration. I've given you tips on how you can rate your post to boost your impressions. But the question that keeps on coming up is, Michelle, what kind of content should we be posting on our company pages? If you're someone that has asked yourself the same question and want to know what kind of content will help you build your followers and build engagement, then stick around. That's exactly what we're going to cover in today's episode. G'day listeners, it's Coach Michelle J. Raymond back for this week's episode on a topic that is near and dear to my heart. Some of you know me as the company pages queen because of just how much time, effort that I've put into over the last 4.5 years to research the strategies that are working, not just yesterday, but the strategies that are going to be working for 2025 and beyond. And company pages get a lot of crap on LinkedIn, and I'm always there fiercely defending them. But unfortunately, I think there are a lot of pages that probably deserve that kind of feedback. What kind of content on a company page seems to press people's buttons? It's the company page content, the old school type, which is just the pure and simple broadcast. Our company's so amazing, the beat your chest kind of posts, the ones that probably belong in an old school PR release or something along those lines. I especially feel for the people that are the page admins or the ones that are creating the content that have to take these types of documents and try and turn them into a social post that other people want to read. And we know that it just doesn't work. And, a simple rule of thumb I always have for people that are page admins is, would you want to read it? And quite often when it comes to LinkedIn company pages, they go, not really. And I totally get it. You're stuck in the middle. You have pressure from the brand to stay within the brand guidelines, and you have pressure from social to try and treat the company page as if it's just like a personal profile. And as I've shared in many episodes and every chance I get to speak, pages and profiles are different. Listeners, rather than focus on the things that don't work, how about in today's episode, we focus on what does? And I'm going to share with you my personal framework for company page content that is tried and tested and proven to work, and you can steal it for your own business. I am not going to hold the secrets back. But before we go into my framework, a couple of things that I want you to know. I'm saving the best tip till last, so you're going to have to hang around. But also, I just want to give a quick shout out and say thank you to our podcast sponsors, Metricool. Here's a quick word about some of the latest features and updates from them. If you haven't heard of it already, Metricool is an all-in-one social media management tool that is a lifesaver for scheduling, analyzing, and managing social media content. Whether it's for my podcast or LinkedIn pages, I can tackle everything in one place. Plus, Metricool is free today, tomorrow, and for life, allowing anyone to test out the platform and get hands-on with their social media management. Their free plan allows you to connect one brand across many social networks. With Metricool's free plan, you get access to in-depth analytics to make more strategic decisions, planning and auto-scheduling of up to 50 pieces of content per month to save time, promote your posts in seconds by creating and managing ads directly through the platform. View best times to see when your followers are more active and know when to post. Review and reply to all important social media messages with Metricool's inbox feature. Analysis of 5 competitor profiles to spy on the brands you like, and much more. It's truly a tool that you'll want to add to your social media toolkit. Plus, if you think the free plan is jam-packed with features, they also have premium plans to customize to your specific social media needs. To everybody that's listening, make sure you create your free account today and get started exploring the platform. All the links are in the show notes. Now, listeners, let's dive into the lessons for today. What is my content framework that works for LinkedIn company pages in 2024 and beyond into 2025? And if you've ever seen me speak, it is my 3-2-1 content framework. And I found that it gives people practical steps on what they need to follow and a plan on how do you, more importantly, get the rotation right of the types of content that you should be putting out on your company page. And as I step you through this, you'll actually discover that maybe you're too heavy in one of the sections and need to bring it down. But what I often find is the last type of content that I'm going to be talking about, most businesses actually forget to mention this, and I think it's costing them business opportunities. So stick around for that one because, it's going to surprise you exactly what it is. The 3-2-1 content strategy is a framework that you can follow, and how it works is we have 3 posts plus 2 posts plus 1 post equals 6 posts in total. Now, what I want you to understand about this is for some businesses, you will go through that in a week. For other businesses, that might be stretched out over 2 or 3 weeks or even a month. The importance is not so much the frequency of these posts, it's that you get the mix right. So having the ratio right of 3 posts, which are good to know, 2 posts, which are good to feel, and 1 post, the most important kind of content, is the good to buy post. So 3 good to know, 2 good to feel, and 1 good to buy. But Michelle, what are each of these types of posts that you're talking about? I've never heard of that good to know or good to buy or good to feel type of post. What are they? The good news for you listeners is I'm going to share exactly the types of content that would help you out on this. Let's start with the good to know post. So these are 3 posts out of the 6. Half of your content is going to be dedicated to this. Now, the types of content that we're talking here is the knowledge that your business has about what's impacting your customers, your industry, the trends that are going on. Maybe it's legal changes that are coming, supply issues, all the things that if you brought the best minds in your business together and got them to share something from their expertise that would make a difference to your ideal clients on the other side, i.e. we're creating content as always in service of them, then ultimately we want to focus on this type of content. And this type of content really is your opportunity to build up trust and credibility with your audience. It should show that you know exactly what's going on, what's impacting the industry, and you might even be predicting what's going on in the industry because you're across things, because that's how good your business is. And this is the type of content that people tend to stick to in general. And whilst I love this kind of content because it does build up that trust and credibility, the downside is sometimes it can be a little heavy, maybe a little dry, and maybe not so much driven towards a social audience that is scrolling, looking to also maybe be entertained and inspired. If that gets a little bit too dry, what do we do? How do we break it up? And what we do is we move on to the next section, which is the good to feel posts. Let's talk about good to feel posts. These are the ones where we move out of the good to know and it's all about the head, what people can learn. The good to feel creates that brand affinity. We want people to also like your business. We want them to see that you share values. We know that Gen Z buyers are very much driven to work with people who share their values. So 65% of the platform is taken up with Gen Z. If you think about that, they are the buyers, if not now, in the next couple of years as they get promotions. So page admins, it's time to start thinking, what kind of content do they want to see about your business? A word of caution here, listeners. One of the things that tends to happen with brands is that once upon a time, they had a social content calendar, which included World This Day, World That Day, celebrate your dog coming to work, World Pride Day, these kinds of things would happen. And the business would show up on that one day and not actually live the values. I'm here to break it to you that we see through that. Tick and flick exercises is not what good to feel posts are. These are the genuine lived values that your business has day to day. So how do you show content that relates back to your values? When it comes to some topics, it might be more practical. So if it's sustainability, it might be the actual things that you're doing in your business. You might have just installed some solar panels. You might have a recycling program. You might have your team that goes out and collects rubbish. You might have come up with ways that you've saved production electricity. I don't mind what the thing is, but I don't want it to be a one day a year just because it's on a social content calendar. By repeatedly showing these things, you demonstrate to your audience the values that your business genuinely has. And this can come across to other things. If you value your people, if you do work in the community, share about it, be proud of it. And you can do that genuinely and authentically if you're living it every day. Again, not a tick and flick exercise for any of these good to feel posts. What else is helpful in this type of content? Think about how can you highlight your employees. Sometimes it can be employee milestones, celebrations, new people have started. Sometimes it's people retiring. I actually genuinely love when people leave LinkedIn. They often do a post that reflects back on their time at LinkedIn. And I think that's really nice to see. But I'd also like to see company pages supporting employees as they leave and wishing them all the best. I think that's the kind of LinkedIn world I would love to live in for company pages. Just remember, anytime that someone's got the cake in the office, maybe there's a special event. I've seen posts that come with people that celebrate the different cultures that their workforce come from. I'm going to say it again. I just want you to show what really happens on a day-to-day basis. And this allows people to like your business, get to see what goes on behind the curtain. It's that whole Wizard of Oz, what's going on? Don't be afraid to show that. So that leaves us with what I said is the most important kind of content, which I think a lot of page admins surprisingly forget to add into the mix. The danger that comes with company page content when you don't have a framework to keep the types of content in the right balance means that you often miss out on one type of content, which is the good to buy content. Now, this might sound a little bit crazy, but it's something that when I was doing my research for this framework, I was actually shocked at how many companies do not ever mention things about their products and services, i.e., what problem do you solve and how can I spend my money with you? And it's funny when you think about it because that's why they're showing up and putting so much content out, especially on the company pages. To be really clear, when I'm talking about good to buy posts, these kinds of content could be product testimonials, service testimonials, they could be frequently asked questions. It could be a straight sales brochure. This is what we do. This is what you can buy from us. This is the problem that we solve. But talk about it in a way that is in service of your ideal client. So if your product saves them time, talk about how much time it saves them. Really show them why this is the right product for them. What are the benefits and features that they should be aware of if they're out doing their research and comparing your product or service versus somebody else's? Now, you don't have to feel uncomfortable about this because when you keep it in the 3-2-1 framework, here's what happens. You've done 3 lots of good to know posts, which has built up that trust and credibility. You've done 2 posts where you've shared about the company values and it's that good to feel. So now we're left with, oh, you solve the problem that I have. I want to pay you money to make that problem go away. It is only when you show up every day, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff. And if we had 6 posts which were good to buy, then people would run the other direction. And quite frankly, I don't blame them. If you skip over the good to feel, then we feel a little bit like you're no different to everybody else. There's nothing that makes you stand out. And we're always trying to find a way to distinguish ourselves from our competitors. So the 3-2-1 content framework is your easy way to keep your company page content in the right ratio to make sure that you increase your chances of generating business opportunities from the time you've invested on LinkedIn. For those of you who are watching over on YouTube, you're going to be seeing a quick summary of what I've just spoken about. If you are listening to the podcast, jump across to YouTube and you can grab a screenshot of this slide, which will show you exactly the breakdowns that we have just spoken about. If you don't want to go across to YouTube, please just connect with me on LinkedIn, mention this episode and ask for the summary, and I'm very happy to send it across to you. I genuinely want you to get more out of your company page. I know that company pages work when they have a strong content framework like I've just shared today. The 3-2-1 content framework will work for your business, no matter the size, no matter if you're just starting out with your page or you have a multinational 150,000 plus followers. I've worked with clients of all different sizes. The 3-2-1 content strategy is all about growing your page followers and growing your page engagement. So if currently your page isn't generating the KPIs that you've set for the business, then don't forget you can always reach out and work with me. This is what I love. I love squeezing every bit of goodness out of the company page to generate those business results. I love doing audits and strategies, even training for new page admins, especially poor page admins who have been thrown in the deep end and have never been given any training on what works for company pages. Just before I wrap up today's episode, if you have been trialing the LinkedIn company page premium feature, there's a free 30-day trial, or maybe you've moved on to pay for it. I'm looking for feedback from people that have actually used it. So if that's you, you're a page admin that's tried it, a business owner that's tried it, a marketer that's tried it, please reach out and connect with me on LinkedIn. The details are in the show notes. I would love to hear from people that are testing these things across the world in all kinds of different scenarios, different page types, different industries. The more I can learn from you, the more I can report back, and together we all grow. So until next week, listeners, I appreciate all of your help. Cheers.